Hey, it's me again, Carolyn here. Happy day one. Welcome everyone. I'm super excited to get started. We'll be doing the first of your live trainings. We'll be trying to get in here every morning at 10 a.m. Central Time, Chicago time. So I know that that's 11 Eastern, 12 noon Argentina time. This is early, 8 o'clock on Pacific time. So hopefully you guys can join in. I'll be doing these Monday through Friday, so every weekday morning, unless I tell you, and I might have to change the time on a couple of days, like we have a doctor's appointment for my son. So we might have to just adjust the time a little bit here and there, but I will let you know. So unless I tell you, plan to be here. I'll be here at 10 a.m. on Central Time, Monday through Friday, while we're doing the challenge. So please shoot me any questions. If you're on live, feel free to shoot me any questions that you might have. I'm going to be going over today some of my favorite tools to plan. So that first P, if you got the Streamline Nutrition Guide, 101 guide, then that kind of talked you through the 3 steps, the 3 parts of planning these healthy meals in minutes to really streamline the nutrition and save time. So the first one, there's 3 of them. The first one is planning, and I gave you in the guide some of my favorite tools, and I wanted to go over them a little bit more and even turn the camera around, show you on my computer where I go, maybe some of the things that I use. Because when we plan to fail, we fail. Sorry. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot that quote. Look. Here we go. I stayed up till 3 last night, so I'm a little bit out of it. Sorry, you guys. My brain is not catching up with me yet. So when we fail to plan, we plan to fail. Got those switched around there. So when we fail to plan, we plan to fail. Gosh, my brain needs something to wake me up. So you guys maybe have seen that quote. I know I've used that maybe a couple times on my own blogs, and definitely think rings true. So we need to think about, I like to think about the fact that when we plan, we're setting ourselves up for success, and it really is a little bit of a time investment in order to see pay forward in the future. So planning ahead, it can take as little as 2 minutes to do a quick search and get your ideas of what you want to pull together for dinner that night. I like to sometimes set aside a little bit more time, maybe once a week or so, or once a month at least, to do some recipe searching and kind of go down the rabbit hole of Pinterest and Google and other places and YouTube. And I'll go into those in a second. So it can be nice to just set aside some time. I say once a month is nice, because then you can really get into it and can just enjoy, maybe when you're, kind of kicking back, having a tea or a glass of wine, and just enjoying that search. So I'm going to show you my page on Pinterest, and if you're not familiar with it, kind of how to use it, as well as some of my other favorite tools that I like to use. Most of what I use, I'm showing you what I use. So some of you might prefer the old school, beautiful cookbooks, like searching through paper cookbooks, and that's awesome. I have a lot of cookbooks, actually. I have several in my cabinet in the kitchen, and I honestly just don't gravitate towards them, even if they're beautiful, have wonderful photos. It's rare that I will actually get those out and use them. I'm definitely someone who prefers a quick search, have it pulled up on my computer, because the book, I feel like it's hard to, I maybe need a cookbook stand. So if you guys have any tips on that, my preferred way is electronic, and using it through my computer or my phone and having my recipes pulled up. If you prefer cookbooks or have other methods, please share. I know for my mom, oh my gosh, growing up, this was before the digital age, really. She had a whole file drawer in the kitchen, and this beautiful, deep drawer that had filing system in it. And I remember when I was younger, and I was homeschooled, so I was home with her, and one of my kind of learning experiences was alphabetizing when I was 7 or something, alphabetizing her files of her recipes. So she would have newspaper clippings, she'd have handwritten recipes, and it was really cool. But for me, I would never use that. I would not touch it. I would forget about it. I wouldn't go and use it. It would be hard to find stuff. So I really appreciate the digital organization on Pinterest or on my computer. Some people have folders on their desktops, so it's just what you prefer. If you prefer the paper route, go for it. I know before, when I'm dating myself a bit, But when I was younger and I didn't have a computer at home, I did sort of what my mom had, a very unorganized file. Though I didn't have it alphabetized at all, but I just had like one of those paper folders, and I had a bunch of recipes that I printed off from Epicurious or cooking blogs that I would just print off and take home with me from work because I didn't have a computer at home. In a second. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through some of my favorite tools that I use. What do you guys use that are on live? I'd love to hear. So if you have a way, maybe you don't, maybe that's why you're here. That's awesome. If you already have a way that you plan your recipe, like what you're going to cook, how you find your recipes, put that in the comments. I'd love to hear. Also, if you have any questions, put those in the comments too. So I'm going to take you on a little tour of not my kitchen. I mean, look at this. I'll just show you my kitchen table right now. So those are all the goodies I got at the conference. I was at the Food and Nutrition Conference and Expo, Fancy, the last 4 days, and they gave a bunch of samples. One of my favorites, I'll just show you really quick, was this Yum Butter. I think they're from Madison, so you guys in Wisconsin might be seeing this, but they had some really good products that I loved. So there were some really cool nut butter products that I saw. They also had, so that I went at the end yesterday, so they were just like giving a whole jar of almond butter away. And then they had these cool Busy Bee bars for kids, that's nut free, which is nice. And then this is like a little almond like shot pack, so you could take it to work or take it when you're traveling, which I liked. So super nice people. The people that were developing these products, like the owners, the developers, were there at the expo. So it's really cool to see like small business owners who are trying to make a really quality product, and just the effort that takes. Okay, so I'm going to take you on a tour now, after you got a little tour of my dining room. So I haven't seen any comments yet. I want to hear what you guys do. What do you do, or if you don't, maybe say that in the comments too. What do you do to organize? What do you do to plan? How do you find your recipes? I'd love to hear. I'm going to show you my favorite ways. So pulling up Pinterest here, I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see my computer. Hopefully the lighting will be. And welcome to you guys that are joining in that maybe don't know me. I know I saw Juanita, you're on there. I know you. Juanita's, I've worked with her a lot, so I know her really well. So, so here's Pinterest, and this is my personal page, but you can also just go to the head page. So this is where I have different boards. So boards are, think about like filing systems. So like my mom had paper files. Boards are your filing system, so you can have organized. And actually my goal during this challenge is to go through here and to organize this better into breakfast, lunch, dinner options, get rid of some of these other things, which I love. I love the laughs, like the funny memes and stuff, and really change it up so that it's only really focused on nutrition and have a separate kind of thing for other things. So my big ones are gluten-free. I have a folder or a board for gluten-free recipes that have about 60 pins in there, which are pins are just the links, and then this might be really basic for some of you guys already know all this, and then 115 pins in the healthy treats. So I'm going to try and divide these up so it's easier to search. So when you click on that, I'm going to show you my page first, and then I'll take you to the main one. So if you follow me, you could go to my page and look through these different boards. And usually you can kind of see what I'm working on developing for my blogs or for newsletter recipes. And just by looking at it, a lot of pumpkin over here, a lot of apple. So that was all the fall recipes I've been sending you guys. So I was getting ideas. So I usually take recipes myself, and I'll get like 2 or 3 recipes, and then and then combine them, kind of create my own out of that. So it's just as a starting point. So then if you would click on this, it would give you more information here if you wanted to. Sometimes the ingredients. So this is one thing I don't like about Pinterest. You have to click a lot. And then from there, to get to the actual page, you click again, and then you pull up a recipe. So this is one of I did a baked oatmeal, apple pie oatmeal. And I use this as kind of a starting point as, okay, these are the main ingredients. How do I want to tweak it? How do I want to improve it? How do I want to get more protein in it? And I'll take it from there. So that's just an example. I'm going to go back to Pinterest now. So this is one I pulled up. You can just click outside of it to go back. And then on the main page,
is where sort of the magic happens. So Pinterest really moved into it being a search engine. So all you need to do, so it's like Google. You can see my recent searches. And then you can also just type in, let's say healthy, that's hard to type with one hand like this. Quick, and you'll see in a second how it pulls up each thing. Recipes. Or you could, actually let's do dinner. Okay. So what it does is you have these kind of keywords that they're searching by. So healthy, quick, and dinner. And it pulls up just basic things. Then you can specify even more. Do you want it for 2 people, for families, for just 1 person? I'm not sure what yum yum means. Clean, healthy recipes, vegetarian. I don't know why they specify recipes, because really everything on Pinterest for food stuff is recipes. And then you can really get specified. They give you suggestions here, which I like. So this is a new thing in there in the last year, I think. And then, and it also, it's like Google, where it will start to get smart based on what you've searched before. It'll start to pull up similar options. So I've really been into these shrimp bakes and sheet pan dinners. So it's giving me this as an option, and because that's my history. So a little creepy, but you know, it's the way of the world now, Google and everything and all the analytics. So that's Pinterest. I love it. So you can go search by pins, or up here you can just search within your own pin. So sometimes I'm like, oh geez, where's that my favorite chocolate chip cookie recipe, because I have one for sure. And I can just search by my pins, and that's too specific. I wonder if I could just do like dinner. Yeah, so these are all the dinner recipes that have that tag on it in my pins. Or you can say people, which I'm sure there's, well, maybe there aren't. Yeah, so there's boards, so there's different people that you can follow. But for me, I usually just actually have an idea of like, or you could type in dietitian if you wanted to make sure it was like somebody that you really kind of trust their nutrition knowledge and what they're recommending. So that's just an example of the different ways you can search on Pinterest. And I recommend, it's free, signing up for it is really easy. And then what you do, so say this is one of the recipes I was kind of looking at to develop for a snack for you guys. So I'm gonna, if I wanted to save it and pin it to one of my boards, I would click, you get one of these little, what are these called? Buttons? I'm not sure. And then you can just, thanks, save it, and I'll save it to one of my boards. So let's see. So I can save it to gluten-free or to healthy treats. You just pick whatever board resonates with you. And like I said, I want to differentiate my boards a little bit more, make it a little bit. All right, so that's saved. It gives you something similar. You could kind of get inspiration after you save it. All right, I'm gonna just flip around for a second. All right, so do you guys use Pinterest? Is that something that you already are using? I'd love to hear if you use it in any other ways. Give me some feedback. I wanna hear how you guys are maybe using it or not, or if you have another way that you like to do recipe searching. Okay, let me show you the other one I mentioned in the Streamline Nutrition 101 guide. And I'm not gonna be talking so much in the feature ones. I wanted to just give you some tools, because the whole point of this challenge is to collect recipes. So I wanted to give you some tools at the very beginning so that you can have some ways to search, maybe in new ways that you haven't tried before. There's some new apps, there's some new places that you could go. And of course, I'm not showing you because I'm using my phone, apps you can pull up on your phone. You can have Pinterest app on your phone. I don't know if this one I'm going to show you, but of course YouTube is an app on your phone. All of these you can use on your phone as apps, and it's a little bit easier. Next one I'm going to show you is one I just learned about. Hey Jessica, so you just jumped on. Is called Healthy Aperture. And Healthy Aperture, I don't know if you guys have heard of Food Gawker. It's like food porn. You just search through it and you see all of these chocolate, decadent, amazingly rich looking recipes. Very few healthy recipes. So I went to a talk this weekend, And the developer of Healthy Aperture, is the name of her food search site, is a dietitian. And she was looking through her, and she's like, these are beautiful, these look really tempting, but for our patients or for people, the clients that are trying to lose weight or to eat healthy for their wellness, they're not very encouraging. They can be kind of tricky to navigate. So she wanted to create a search site that really was moderated by dietitians, nutritionists, and only provided healthy recipes that are still, you know, some healthy treats and some other really delicious things, but just so you know, the Healthy Aperture is focused on them being healthy recipes. So let me turn around. So this is relatively new to me. I hadn't heard of it, but I had been familiar with Food Gawker. So I just started checking this out in the last few days, and I really like it. So again, similar to Pinterest, where you can do these suggestions, and there's more filters. You can do a little search bar up here. It's not quite as, this isn't quite as savvy or as streamlined as Pinterest, I would say. They have some ads that pop up that I'm not a huge fan of, but I do love, like Food Gawker, you can just pin it directly and click it, and it automatically opens the link, instead of with Pinterest, you click it and then you have to click again to actually open up the recipe. And I like this a lot more. It's more direct, apart from the ads popping up sometimes. So again, a free service, healthy focused recipes that I've really enjoyed perusing here. And you can, and then to save them, you would just pin it from here. You could say, I want to save this recipe. You pin it, and then pick your board that you want to save it to, and then that's it. You got it. You saved it to your Pinterest. Another thing you can do is say you want this recipe. Do I want that recipe? Not really. Baked cream fries. Oh, this looks good. Sweet potato loaded nachos. So say I wanted to save this recipe. Some people will take this link, and then just what I do sometimes is I use Google Drive and just create a file. Just create a new file and save links in there, and you can of course get fancy and organize it and just save the link, and then you can go and just click right on it. The thing I don't like about that though is you have to write your own description, whereas like Pinterest, you just click, you have your boards that you can go to right there. So the Healthy Aperture doesn't have, as far as I could tell, a way for you to save things on their site. It's just a place to look and kind of go through. Okay, I'm gonna close this out. And then YouTube. That's another one I've been getting into more recently, because food videos are hot right now, and it's been really, I enjoy them. I think a lot of people do. It's videos, I'm gonna turn this around again. So videos is just easier sometimes to draw you in. You get to actually see them making recipes, and it's the newer version. Like these quicker videos showing recipes, like Tasty. If you ever heard of Tasty, they are sped up, so you don't have to sit like the old school style was watching Julia Child or these shows. Who was Rachel Ray, and sitting for like half an hour to watch a recipe made. And some people still like that, but we don't, you know, in this. We're busy, right? So the whole point of this is to have nutrition in no time. So nutrition in no time is a lot easier if you can watch like a 1 to 2 minute video of a quick recipe being made, just the steps, and either the hands and pans, like overview, where they're shooting just down and you can see the person mixing. Those are really popular. Tasty is a huge, like that's their style. Other styles are where you're actually seeing someone making it and kind of talking you through it. And I like that style too, because you get to learn a little bit more of the ingredients, and take those a little longer videos, but you get to kind of learn more and hear some more tips about how to prepare it. So another resource that I've been liking, and I actually got to meet her this weekend, is Abby Sharp. She's a dietitian out of Toronto, out of Canada, for our Canadians. And she's so funny. She's a wonderful person. And she does these videos too, where she plays herself and then has like Diet Debbie that she's like with all these crazy questions that the person's asking and role playing. She does costumes. It's really fun. So I'm going to show you her page, but YouTube is a nice one for those food videos. If you're more visual, if you really like to just see the step-by-steps, here's some tips, that can be a nice way to navigate as well and search.
All right, let me flip this around.
So here's Abby's page. Abby Sharp is her name, and her YouTube channel is called Abby's Kitchen. So I'm trying to steady this so it's not shaking so much. She has a lot of vegan, so if you guys are plant-based, she's great for some of the vegan recipes. I put a link for her in the Streamline Nutrition. So you see the featured recipe, some of the the playlists that she has. So these are the Diet Debbie that I was talking about, where she kind of does these silly things. She does reviews of like What the Health and other health kind of phenomena that happen that we hear about. So you can just search through her videos. I subscribe to her, so then all my subscribed have over here, so I can quickly link to them and jump to them. If I'm intentionally going through and trying to find a recipe, I can just click on her channel. Or, I mean, obviously you can just go up here and type in, I'll do the same thing, quick, healthy dinner. You know, thinking ahead for dinner tonight. And what comes up, well, oftentimes if you've searched for things before, they're going to be top of your list because they're going to be kind of preferential based on if you've looked at their stuff before. I don't use YouTube a ton, I'll be honest, but here's Tasty. Let me pull up Tasty to give you that idea of. I'm sure you guys have seen. Tasty is totally hot right now. So kind of that sped up. This is unusual. Usually they do like this kind of shot overview. But anyway, these aren't so healthy. So another one that I like is, but they have like 4 million people subscribed. Another one I like is another dietitian out of, I think she's out of California, focusing a lot on plant-based foods as well. And she has a nice look, like her style is really beautiful on her videos. She does a lot of what I eat in the day, but also a lot of quick recipes. So that's just another one that you can do. But Abby's my favorite just because she's got a good personality. If you're going to be watching video, you want to watch something entertaining, I find. Awesome. And then last thing I want to really talk about, and please shoot me any questions, you guys. I'm not seeing any. I hope I'm not missing them. Sometimes I don't see them on my, they don't show up on my phone. So I will try and pull up on the computer. So good old Google. This is my go-to because sometimes Pinterest I find can be really slow. Like a lot of these food blogs, if you click on them, for some reason, like if I leave Pinterest open for a while, it slows down my computer, so I just get annoyed with it. And sometimes when you pull up, I don't know if this will be an example, but it takes a while to load because they have all these, this is a good one actually. It was quick and we have faster internet now. But they have ads put in their page. You have to scroll down a ton to actually find the ingredients. That drives me nuts with food blogs. I don't know if that drives anyone else nuts. I'm like, just put the recipe at the freaking top of it. Please. I don't want to go scrolling for ages. I don't know if these are going to be. But sometimes they take a really long time to load. And so I prefer, for some reason, when I have Pinterest open, it just slows things down. This one's pretty good. But yeah, again, like these pop-ups, these ads. Pinterest is really heavy on these kind of bloggers that have sometimes video ads running on the side and everything. Look at this. I mean, they just slow everything down. So I get frustrated with that because Pinterest favors those. It's just heavy with those kind of bloggers. So I usually prefer to actually go to Google and I'll just type in, if I'm not wanting to get inspiration, like Pinterest I use for inspiration more, but Google I go for when I'm just like focused. Okay, I'm like, yep, this is exactly what I want to look for. I want a pumpkin soup, just quick pumpkin soup recipes, and just see what they give me. And then again, same thing. Like if I use Simply Recipes a lot, that's one of my favorite. Those will pull up. Minimalist Baker, Heidi Swanson. Yeah, see, like this one. Simply Recipes is one of my favorites. So you start to see those first. If they have a recipe related to that, those keywords, they're gonna pull up first. So Simply Recipes is one of my favorites. So I think I've actually made this soup before. So again, I will kind of adapt these recipes for myself too. Let me pull this around. So Simply Recipes is a good one. I like, it's really good, basic. Okay, come on. There.
really good basic recipes that aren't super complicated, so nice for this challenge if you guys are looking for a place to go for some recipes. Let me pull up the Nutrition No Time group on my computer just to make sure I'm not missing questions, because that happened last time when I did a live on my phone and I didn't see questions, and I wasn't ignoring them, I just didn't see them. The lighting's really crazy here. So some tools to get you started. I hope that was helpful for you, and we'll be diving into more demos. So tomorrow we're gonna get started. So definitely check out that Streamline Nutrition Guide if you haven't already, and look through it and just see kind of the overview. And then my intention is like to give you some tools with that are, you know, that you can look through, that you can reference, that you can use to get started. And then as we go on throughout the challenge, we'll be diving into those topics in more depth. So that was just kind of the bullet points, a few recipes or ideas for meals and minutes that you can pull together from already made components that you've cooked or batch cooked. And let's see, it's not showing me. And then we're gonna, of course, I'm gonna be showing you and demoing things in the kitchen and answering all your questions either on live if you have them. You guys are quiet today. Or if you, oh, here they are. Now it's, see, I'm glad I pulled it up. Juanita wrote, I like to see reviews. I don't read them. I just look to see how many stars and how many people rated them. So when you're saying reviews, Juanita, yes, I'm not sure what you, oh, just to see, like, yes, exactly. I know what you mean. I'm sorry. Or like comments. That's one thing too, you guys. I really highly recommend, if you're looking at a recipe, just to, I think this is what you mean, Juanita, is just to look at the comments. Just briefly look through them. Look at the sort of the top ones. Same thing on I mean, you guys do this on Amazon probably too. Like I'm hardcore read the comments because the people have valuable input. I usually read the top comments of like the 5-star and the top ones of the like 1-star, just to get an idea, and also look at the date. That's just my Amazon tip for you. But with recipes, oh, sorry, somebody was calling me. For recipes too, it's helpful to look at the comments to get tips or to see if people had problems, if they liked the recipe a lot. Some sites have starring rating, and that can be helpful. Although, again, for me, looking at comments is more helpful because you get a feel for the people rating it perhaps a little better, if they're more in line with the way you eat or not. Excuse me. And I love this. Jessica wrote, I get tired of scrolling on food blogs. Yes, recipe at the top. Totally. Like, I should like just do that myself and make that a thing so that there's an option out there for people who don't want to scroll and go through all the ads and go through all the things that just slow up the computer. All right, any other, oh, sorry. So Cynthia wrote, I need savory snack ideas. Most snacks are sweet ideas. Oh, yes. So I will go in more depth on those, but that's a tough one. I definitely love things, just to give you some quick ideas. They're not as, the thing that with the savory ones, they're not as transportable. I believe you eat meat. Yes, I believe you eat meat, Cynthia. So in like the health food stores or Whole Foods or places where they have protein bars, if you like beef jerky, can be an option. There's a lot of healthier options now, like Epic bars, and a lot of paleo kind of bars that are turkey or bison. Those ones are can be really good options if you like that. They're a little intense for me. Definitely savory, but a little intense. There are unfortunately like veggie bars. There were a couple that I sampled at the conference that were pretty good with beans and vegetables, and they were pretty good actually. And I was like, why aren't these in stores? And they're not out yet. But they might be in your area, and they're called This Is It. And that was the name of the bar, This Is It, and they were vegetable-based bars, bean and vegetable-based, and they actually tasted pretty good, in my opinion. They also had fruit bars too. But other savory things are that I make at home. I know you work from home or have, maybe are based at home more often, and can be things, I just make like salad, like little mini salads, like with bean salads, or with like a bean salsa kind of thing with You could use black beans and tomatoes and avocado and corn, add some salsa in there, whatever you want, like to just kind of make it, and cilantro and jalapeno or lime juice on it. And those are really easy to have, and just have a small portion of that for a snack. Hummus and bean dips and baba ganoush are great ones for savory snacks. Some people will, I think there was somebody from last year who did a yogurt with miso or something, like plain yogurt with miso or something, where it's like a savory kind of yogurt. So that's another idea. I have to see if I can find that. But yeah, I agree. Convenience options for snacks are very sweet usually. And there's just not many. But those healthier jerkies are good options. Sliced fresh vegetables are always good with hummus. And little like salads, like the bean salads, or sometimes I'll make egg salad and have it with Mary's Gone crackers, or what else? Tuna salad, chicken salad. Having those on hand, or hard-boiled eggs, are nice. Oh, mozzarella cheese. So fresh mozzarella or mozzarella cheese sticks are nice to have, and you have a few like raw veggies with that too. Can be good savory snack ideas. Hope that helps. All right, guys, I don't see any other questions popping up, so I'm going to run. I'm going to finally eat breakfast. I haven't had my coffee this morning, my decaf coffee, and a couple Belvita crackers, but I am ready for my protein smoothie, my green protein shake. So I will be in checking out your intros, checking out your questions, answering, saying hi. So looking forward to getting to know you all better. I can't wait to get to know you all better over the next couple of weeks. So shoot me any questions you have, and we'll see you again tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central Time. Bye, guys. Have a great day.